Hello, my name is Cassandra, and in this video I'm going to share my personal viewpoint based on a mental and spiritual aspect regarding the themes in the movie Devil's Advocate, which aired in 1997. The Devil's Advocate is a cult classic and it's a really good movie with good actors and a very interesting theme, especially for that period of time when it aired. This video is going to contain major spoilers, so I advise you to first watch the movie and then watch this video. Just like my previous video, I am going to be reading from a pre-made script, so I will mostly be looking at the screen rather than the camera. The Devil's Advocate is about Kevin Lomax, an exceptional Florida lawyer known for never losing a case, who is offered a job at a powerful New York law firm run by the charismatic John Milton. As Kevin's success grows, so do the moral dilemmas surrounding the people he chooses to defend. This movie touches on themes like ambition, free will, and vanity, among others. In this video, I want to share my own worldview about these topics, as well as what I believe human nature is really about. The first topic I want to talk about is the concept of free will. In the movie, Kevin is unknowingly being influenced by the devil, who takes the form of other people in his life. The devil tempts him in the form of a journalist by diminishing or stroking his ego. Kevin has a predisposition toward vanity. He wants to prove himself, he wants to always be a winner and always to be at the top. The devil tempts him, but in the end Kevin is free to choose the path he wants to follow. In my opinion, our free will is heavily influenced by other factors that in the end, free will becomes an illusion. Mentally, we carry beliefs about ourselves and the world since our early childhood. These work on a subconscious level. Physically, these beliefs affect our worldview, our emotions, and the choices we end up making. Spiritually, astrology and karma play a major role in not only the way we view the world, but also in the people and circumstances we attract in our lives. Some people say they were born unlucky. In many cases, this is actually true. The first step in order to clear the illusion of free will is that one has to actively question their decisions and their reactions to external stimuli. Do you believe that having a lot of money is bad, as an example? If yes, then why? What is the emotion that overwhelms you when you hear about someone getting rich? If it's jealousy and if you wish it had been you instead, why aren't you making a plan to achieve that? It seems to almost be human nature to create excuses for what we don't have. When we learn to see beneath the surface, we realize that the real answer lies in a specific belief that dictates our choices. Feeling that one is unworthy, being afraid of rejection and failure. How much of a free will can someone have when hidden fears and subconscious thoughts dictate the way we receive our experiences in life? Another theme I want to touch on is vanity. In Devil's Advocate, Kevin wasn't corrupted by success, but by his desire to always win. His fanatical urge to always be at the top led him to a morally questionable path. And this is why vanity is Devil's favorite sin. Vanity, along with greed, is an emotional condition that goes beyond a moral scope. Someone who is vain or greedy is willing to take advantage of another person in order to achieve their goal. This is a psychopathic condition that needs treatment. If left unchecked, a vain person could even put their children at risk in order to attract attention to themselves, which is unfortunately a frequent event in today's society. But why has society become so vain? When did people start giving so much attention to the way others perceive them? Many people blame technology and the use of social media. However, I believe this is only part of the problem. The main reason society has become so vain is because they have forgotten how to look within. There is such an unhealthy emphasis on a person's appearance and social status that people have forgotten that their true value lies within themselves. There is an ancient Greek quote that says, nous υγιείς and somati υγιή, which means a healthy mind in a healthy body. The ancients didn't make distinctions between mind and body. They understood that a healthy person is a combination of a balanced inner and outer self. Spiritually speaking, a person who is overly concerned by their physical appearance is focusing on the lower chakras of their body. These chakras are associated with survival, pleasure, and confidence. The higher chakras are associated with the emotions, self-expression, intuition, and empathy, among others. By focusing on the material, people are also losing touch on what is real and genuine. They are easier to trick since they are disconnected with their intuition. And another horrible result of a vain society is that people no longer have morals. Morals are personal or societal principles that distinguish between right and wrong behavior, guiding how people act and treat others. A few moral values are honesty, responsibility, respect, and loyalty. In the movie, Kevin valued victory and his reputation over justice. In the real world, people go to extremes to attract others' attention, not caring on how their actions affect other people and how they could influence society itself. Without morals, society crumbles. One way to solve the vanity problem of our world is for people to deal with their own issues before they bring kids to this world. I've seen many mothers asking for their child to record them while walking in order to later on upload this video on the internet. We have also seen countless videos of parents mistreating their children or having fun with their children, playing with their children while recording constantly and not realizing what effect this has on the child. The problem doesn't start with the children or with the technology, but with the parents. If the parents understood the meaning of values, and if they actively worked on being a good example for their children, and of course, taking care of any vanity and self-confidence issues that they have, if they then spend more time with their children, teaching them how to be better people, how to be happy, and to truly believe in themselves before they grow up and go out into society and search for confirmation in others, then the use of technology and social media would have only a temporary effect on the child. A third topic I want to touch on is the effect of power on mankind. In Devil's Advocate, Kevin's ambition stems from his vanity, which makes him choose an unorthodox path in order to achieve success. In the real world, different people have different reasons for being ambitious. However, the fact that power corrupts is a common belief in the entire world, and it's a frequent trope in storytelling. Scientifically, some studies reveal that power can decrease empathy, reduce neural activation in regions of the brain associated with cognitive control, and increase self-focus overconfidence, and aggression, among others. It's also been shown that people with personal values, high morals, and accountability are less affected in making the wrong decisions even when they achieve a degree of power. Spiritually, the achievement of power most often inflates a person's ego. Our ego and self-confidence are ruled by the third chakra. We are once more focused on the lower chakras. In the ancient cultures, ego in itself wasn't evil. Ego was a healthy mechanism that defined a person's identity. It was the false ego that created problems. A false ego is a mistaken identity. Taking Kevin's personality as an example, the false ego needs constant external validation and has the need to dominate others and exert control. The concept of false ego goes much deeper than that, but this is enough information in order to understand its impact on our spirituality and consequently our mental and physical world. In the end, power does have the tendency to corrupt. Not because power in itself is evil, but because people who live in the lower level of existence are spiritually and mentally imbalanced. When people know and understand only how to satisfy their physical needs and how to seek validation for their false ego, how to treat relationships and people as a means to benefit themselves, it's naturally impossible for them to understand empathy and an intuitional level of awareness when it comes to using their power. However, something that is not often talked about is the possibility that the people who go after and reach a level of power were, to begin with, people who did not want to understand empathy, people who did want to dominate others, and maybe these people are not the majority of mankind. Maybe these people are not an example of what the real nature of a person is. But because this is the kind of people that we see at the top, then we take it as an example to say that power corrupts, or that this is the nature of mankind. One solution for the problem of lacking empathy is meditative practices that can increase empathy and self-awareness. Self-awareness can reveal the false ego and all the illusions and ill practices that come with it. Empathy will decrease the possibilities of using one's power to harm others and will increase one's societal values and needs. A final theme I want to talk about has to do with human nature and the notion of good versus evil. In Devil's Advocate, the devil wanted to release Kevin from the burden of consciousness so that he could rise above everyone else with no reservations on the cases he chose to defend. I loved the little bit of Milton's mental breakdown when he asked Kevin if he is carrying that bag of bricks, meaning his consciousness, for God. Religion has played a major role in the way people think and in how they perceive good and evil. But different religions have different beliefs. Muslims don't view gender roles the same way Hindu people do. Buddhists don't view physical existence the same way Christians do. And accordingly, the world judges good and evil based on the religion that most heavily influenced their culture. This is a major flaw in humankind, and it's been the main instigator for wars, confusion, and hatred for thousands of years. In spite of the law and justice system of each country, which acts as a foundational structure where people can coexist, there are still disputes and aggressiveness concerning fundamental questions on what is morally good and evil. People put on the most aggressive arguments on why humanity is inherently evil and how the only way forward is self-destruction. There is a solution to that problem, but there are some extra problems we first need to address. First of all, the most prominent religions condone any questioning about their beliefs. This results in people blindly supporting a belief system and viewing as an enemy anyone who dares question it. Secondly, the beliefs of each religion have extended and have been integrated by the different cultures. As a result, denying or questioning a religious beliefs could make a person perceive it as an attack to one's identity and culture. Thirdly, programming and indoctrination that starts from a person's childhood can have a detrimental effect in their abilities to conceive and accept any belief that goes against their own. Adding to the identity and ego resistance, there are also spiritual reasons that increase the difficulty in finding any truth behind moral questions. More specifically, religious indoctrination and overall ideas and beliefs and experiences in life are absorbed over one's lifetime and are engraved into their souls. The future incarnations of these people will have a natural tendency to a belief system that's identical to that specific religion. And more than that, they will attract situations and circumstances that will reaffirm their beliefs in some way, even if those beliefs are subconscious. I understand this can be very hard to grasp and perhaps to even accept as a possibility, but this is mostly based on my experiences, on my spiritual experiences, which is important to take into consideration that many people have had experiences when they started meditating and they followed a spiritual path. They had experiences that revealed some memories from a past life. And what I have noticed, and I believe with zero doubt, is that the beliefs we had in a past life, whether we chose to believe these things or these things were forced onto us, like religion was in the medieval times, are still affecting us to this day. Now, concluding all of the above, in order to find true and genuine answers to human existence, a radical mental transformation must take place. This process starts by questioning and doubting not just external beliefs, but one's self as well. A person needs to be prepared and willing to lose what they define as their identity, and perhaps to reevaluate the impact their close relationships have in their life. It's not difficult to understand that if a person is surrounded by individuals who are immersed in vanity and self-pleasure, then that person's journey toward rejecting the false ego and embarking in a self-discovery path is going to be exceptionally difficult. Learning to question what one has for so long taken for granted is the first and most important step in order to crack the walls surrounding our minds. After that step is taken and developed according to a person's needs, meditative practices that result in spiritual evaluation and progress need to take place in order to find deep answers that the intellect has trouble reaching. It's important to consider that even the ancient Greek philosophers that were mentally above what we could even imagine in today's society, they also meditated and they participated in the ancient rituals of Greece. I am not talking just about believing in the ancient gods, but many of these rituals and rites are still unknown to us today. We do not know what these people did, but we know that there was an initiation first, and the people who participated in the rites that they did were people who were far into the occult, as we call it today, or the spiritual realm of existence. So this is very important to consider for everyone who thinks that by just thinking and using the mental aspect of this world is enough to reach answers to such questions like what is human nature. So these are some of the themes that Devil's Advocate inspired me to analyze. And as I said in the beginning of the video, this is not an analysis of the movie's themes, but my own perspective from a mental and spiritual viewpoint. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for future content. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my viewpoint and what else did you take from this movie, and what other ways you would suggest that the problems I raised in this video can be solved. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye bye. Religious Arabs.